They want that Holy Spirit so bad. You guys, I read my Bible on a pretty regular basis. I work at a restaurant, and so I keep it on me a lot. And so naturally, it gets covered in grease and ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise and pickled juice and all kinds of other crap. So hey, vortex. So I don't know about y'all, but I really hate money. I absolutely hate money. And I'm extremely lucky because I'm in a housing situation that is very, very convenient because my parents made relatively good decisions and were able to provide me with a nice place to live. But that being said, I'm still stressed out about bills and all that. Because, my parents, they made good decisions, but needless to say, I have not. And I would not be in the position that I'm in if it weren't for them helping me out tremendously. And I didn't even ask for that help. They just offered it, and I wasn't in a position to refuse. Because at the time that they purchased this condo, I was living with this friend of mine and her grandfather, who was dying. And so he really wanted us to stay there. And I had never had much of a relationship with my grandparents. So, I got close to him. And I just spilled my tea all over the couch. Did you hear that? It was an interesting sound. I saw it happening before it happened, and then it just happened. But anyway, it's okay. We're still going to drink the rest of it. I'm forcing myself to drink tea. You should be really proud of me. Because it's really hard, okay? I'm a coffee girl. But anyway. Yeah, so I was staying with my friend, and we were perfectly content doing that. But, my parents are helicopter parents, so, they felt like I needed to be rescued from that situation, and so they offered me and my friend, Kimberly, I talk about her a lot, they offered us this condo. And of course we pay rent and everything, but I naturally resented that because, I don't like just mooching off people. Because I used to do that when I was an alcoholic. And I have to live with that. I have to live with the fact that, I stole from my friends. And I stole from everybody, technically, because I was swiping an EBT card because I couldn't pay my rent, because I was a drunk, because I couldn't keep a job. And so it's like I think about that. I think about how much worse I used to be. And it's like it doesn't matter like how much I've grown as a person. It's like I still feel horrible because of ways that I used to behave that I can't rationalize. Like even with like my booze habit, it's like I was still such a shithead, you know? But, I've always been taken care of. And I know that's God's grace doing for me what I haven't been willing to do for myself. And, because of my parents, helping me out all this time, like, I'm able to work a job that I don't hate. And I'm pretty happy at this job, Not many people are happy working at a restaurant, but, well, actually, I take that back. I think that that's a common misconception. Like, the world wants you to think that you can't be happy working at a restaurant. The world wants you to think that you can't be happy making the bare minimum and living on the poverty line. But it's like you make do with what you have, I'm just stressed out about money because, like, I didn't have health insurance when I had this car accident. And needless to say, now I have a bunch of bill collectors after me. And I was just thinking about how, my attitude towards money is so negative. And that's probably why I've been so bad with it. Because, I just have this natural aversion to it. But that's silly because, if it weren't for my parents, like, I would not be in the position that I'm in. And I wouldn't be able to go to Nashville every week and do stand-up comedy at these little dive bars and work at Steak and Shake for the rest of my life. I'm sure that to, like, the common person, like, that doesn't seem ideal. But, I'm schizophrenic, so it's a good thing to have a job. Especially a job that can put up with me and my mouth, My dad asked me if I was happy a few years ago. And I told him that I was. And he said, "Good, that's all I want." And that's when I realized that he actually did love me. So, I should be grateful for that. Because, your parents aren't supposed to understand you. They're supposed to provide for you. They're supposed to raise you. I'm lucky that that I have that. Because a lot of people have parents that didn't provide for them or raise them or understand them, you know? But I don't know. I don't want to be mad at myself for the way that I am because you know, it's just kind of like the cards that I've been dealt, you know, and I feel like I play them as best I can. But I wonder if I could play them better, and I'm doing myself a disservice by, you know, acting the way that I do about everything. But it's just so terrible that, like, everything has to be so stressful, you know? Like, people that live in a third world country are probably never stressed about money because, you know, there's no money to be stressed about. Like, you just deal with it. But when you live in a first world country, you get used to, like, all these luxuries. You get used to things being a lot easier. And when you get used to that, then whenever things are the slightest bit difficult, then you act like it's the end of the world. I mean, I can definitely attest to that in regards to, like, finances, but I know that most people are that way when it comes to psychological stuff. I'm not like that when it comes to psychological stuff because I've always been a schizo, so, like, you know, my life has always been relatively challenging due to that alone. And I will say that I didn't handle it appropriately. Obviously, I told you I was an alcoholic, so I like to think that I'm doing the best that I can do. I like to think that I'm a lot better off than I used to be. But, you know, being sober, that doesn't mean shit to me. I mean, I know that it should because of how bad it was, but um, I hate how people rest on their laurels and they're just like, oh, well, at least I didn't take a drink today. It's like, it's been almost 12 years. Can't really use that as a, what do you call it? Um, Compliment or salutation or something. I mean, I stopped after like the first week. After I've been sober for a week, I was like, it doesn't matter, you know, because I guess I just don't look at things the same way as most people. And I'm lucky for that because, you know, it's so easy to fall into this trap of, you know, like identity and blame game and all that. Because all that stuff goes hand in hand. It really does. Like, the more insecure a person is, the more likely they are to, like, obsess about a particular aspect of their life or their personality. And then they want to get mad at other people for not understanding it. But I don't even know why I'm talking about this now. Yeah, I mean, money is just so depressing. And, like, people that have it, even, I mean, you see all these rich people on coke. You know, rich people that have, like, serious drug problems. And it's because they don't have a purpose. It's like, I have a purpose, so I know that, like, I'll make this work, like, whatever's going on. Like, what are they gonna do? Fucking kill me? Kill me because I can't pay a bill? You know, I had somebody in AA a long time ago tell me, they can't eat you. Well, that is true. I can't get hit in the head with my cat's tail, though. That's awesome. Damn, now I have cat hair up my nose. That's a luxury problem, though, right? That's definitely a luxury problem. I have to admit that. Like, if I'm stressed out about bills, it's because of the fact that I have stuff. I have stuff that I'm paying for. But I think that's just like another thing about Western civilization. Like, they want to make it seem like, oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky to have running water. Are we? Did you know that it's like polluted with fucking, what's that shit that they put in Prozac? Fluoride. Fluoride. Yeah, so the water's making everybody docile and or gay. So, like, I wonder if the water in Somalia is making them trans. Probably not. But if you look at, like, all of the first world problems that we have, like, if you compare and contrast, like, first world countries with third world countries, at least third world countries aren't fucking trans, you know? At least they don't have this gay dilemma that we have over here. So, you win some, you lose some.